I'm actually getting teary all morning. I'm so excited to be here today with all of you and to share this moment with you as a community, because from the beginning, this has been a community-driven and supported project, and I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for this. I was on the school committee when we started this. They told us it was a 7 or 8 year process, and I didn't believe that. But in fact, in 2015, the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District engaged in a review of all the facilities on their campuses, and we developed a master plan. In 2016, we brought together 80 community members that involved teachers and administrators, but also people from the community and students to take the data from the master plan and have a visioning process. It was 3 8-hour days to come up with ideas about what we could do. And they came up with 7 possible solutions. We then took those and had community forums and shared all of that information and conducted surveys and got hundreds of survey responses from community members. And together, all of that resulted in a solution that's a campus that includes the Gates and Douglas Elementary Schools and the Carol Hebner Early Childhood Program, the campus that we are now on, the Boardwalk Campus. So I welcome you to the campus and all of that it has to offer. In 2017, the Massachusetts School Building Authority invited us into their program, and they brought a sizable financial contribution, but they also brought a lot of expertise in how to design a wonderful quality school building, and they gave us guidelines and expertise along the way. In December of 2017, the Acton and Boxborough communities approved $1.3 million for a feasibility study, and in December of 2019, the community approved $117 million for this project, and we could not have done it without that support. I have to say that we have been fortunate in the timing. I felt a little guilty when we voted that money in 2019 and we bonded the money and COVID hit and it impacted us all financially. But boy, did we get ahead of the game. The interest rate we got in bonding was amazing and has really helped us have a financially affordable project. And we got ahead of the COVID and a lot of the delays that happened and everything, so we've been fortunate that way. Throughout the process, we've had incredible community support and interest, even when the project interrupted a lot of people's routines, for neighbors, for students in the schools, and I thank you all for your patience through that. I want to thank you, the Acton-Boxborough community, for all of your support through this project. I want to thank the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the building committee members, and our building team comprised of Skanska, our owner's project manager, Arrow Street, our architecture and design partner, and Consigli Construction, our construction partner, who have all taken what that early visioning group did and brought it to fruition on this gorgeous campus. As you are walking around the campus today, notice the inside, but when you're inside, look out, because we are on a glorious piece of property, and it was designed to enjoy those views, and today couldn't be a better day for that. So look out and enjoy that as you can. So now I'm going to pass the microphone to Peter Light, the superintendent of the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District.
Good morning, everyone. My comments right now, and for those of you who know me, this will be a surprise, but my comments now will be brief because I'm going to actually speak a little bit more at the end. However, what I do want to do is make some introductions, and I'd like you to welcome James McDonald, who is the Chief Executive Officer for the Massachusetts School Building Authority, up to make a few remarks. So thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Wow, what a crowd for a Saturday morning. You know, we attend a lot of ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and topping offs and other ceremonies. But we usually don't get the community out. And looking today, what a great celebration of a brand new school. And on behalf of Treasurer Goldberg, who's the chair of MSBA, and Jack McCarthy, who is traveling today and cannot be with us, and Maria Popolo, congratulations. Congratulations on such a beautiful, state-of-the-art school. You know, it seemed as though it was yesterday that I was here with Senator Eldridge and others, and I was up there on the third floor, and we were doing the topping off, and we had two separate locations. We had upstairs and down below, and when you look and you're walking through the mud and you're walking through the construction site, you really don't have a sense of what it's going to be and what it's going to look like. But I can tell you today, just walking around inside, what an amazing state-of-the-art modern facility for your children. And for the children for many years to come that will enjoy this beautiful facility. And you know, MSBA's job is to partner with local communities. And as Mary just mentioned, it's our pleasure to partner and to help. And I know sometimes it might seem we're a little rigid, but you know, at the end of the day, what you have here is really the frosting on the cake, because this is what a great building looks like. And for you and for your committee, you put together quite a great group of professionals, Skanska, Arrow Street, and Consigli, because this is what they do throughout the Commonwealth is work with communities and help and really come up with a fantastic building. And also thanks to the taxpayers, because you're the ones who have to say yes, to increasing your taxes. But we know that you have the vision that you want the best for your community, and you want the best for your children. And what better way to do that than to give them the tools to be successful later on in life, and give the staff and the teachers and those that work within the building, from the custodians to the cafeteria, to the principal, the tools in order to educate your children. So I'm going to end with the story that Jack McCarthy always says, and if you've been to a school building, this will be familiar. Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune, and he once said that a school is four walls with tomorrow inside. And we at the MSBA are proud to be a part of your tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm going to move the mic up for our next speaker. I'd like you to welcome Senator Jamie Eldridge to make a few remarks as well.
Thank you, Superintendent. Good morning, everyone. I'm just so honored and excited to be here, and just as James just said, just to have so many members of the community here beyond just teachers and parents, but members throughout the Acton and Boxborough community really shows what a special moment this is for the Acton Boxborough schools with the grand opening here. I want to echo what Mary Brolin said, is that this really has been a community-driven process. Bringing in the values of Acton and Acton Boxborough, obviously the clean energy values, the values that we need to do our part for future generations to combat climate change, but also the concept of this, its name being the Boardwalk Campus, is being open to all members of the community, not just on educational issues, but community meetings. One of the things I'm so proud about in Acton and Boxborough is how civically engaged people are. All the different committees, all the volunteers putting all their time in to make these communities so wonderful. That doesn't happen in every community. Really shows what a special place and special communities we are right here. So I want to echo that. Thanks to James McDonald for being here. I remember being here for the topping off ceremony, and thanks to the Mass School Building Authority's support. As I'm sure many people here know, one of the things that legislators do are advocate with the MSBA, not just on the funding, but making sure that there's a prioritization of every new school building. And so I was proud to work alongside Representative Dan Cena as well as Representative Tammy Govea, who unfortunately couldn't be here to advocate to see this day. And I was trying to remember how many years it had been. So I know it had been at least 7 years. And it's just incredible to see these facilities here. I say this often at any sort of grand opening of a new public facility, is that it's such an important message to say on education, is that if we really care about educating our children and really paying respect to the people that educate our children, we need to have new facilities, we need to have modern facilities, because that speaks to how deeply we care about educating our children, about the people that are educating our children, and just the staff that do a tremendous job. And on that note, I just want to give a personal thank you to Superintendent Peter Light, who's just done a tremendous job leading the school district. I want to thank Kira Cook and the members of the school committee for her incredible leadership in the school committee for seeing out this beautiful facility. And as I think some people here know, I went to Douglas School, so now the rubble across the stream. I shouldn't tell this, but before it got taken down, I was able to extract a few bricks, so my apologies on doing that. Wanted to have some memories. But I just remember, so many years seeing the temporary classrooms attached to the school, and just thinking there's got to be a bigger vision here. We've got to really get to a new building. So it's just so wonderful to see. I know that I owe so much to the work that I get to do each and every day, to the incredible public education I received here in the Acton Boxborough Public Schools. I am so grateful for that, so grateful for the teachers that impacted me at Douglas. And of course, it's wonderful. I get to see now my niece and nephew benefit from the Acton Boxborough schools. So congratulations to all the stakeholders. Congratulations to everyone that saw to this very special day, and honored to be part of this special ceremony. Thanks so much.
And now, would you please welcome Representative Danilo Sena to the stage, and he's going to say a couple remarks as well.
Lower down the microphone a little bit. Well, good morning, everyone. I am honored to be here not only as your state representative, but also as a parent of a student that comes to this school here in Douglas. And I got to tour this building the first time was through back to school night. I think it was beginning of September. And I left here feeling so proud of my hometown of Acton here, because the investment that we made shows that we care about education. And education, certainly, I benefited my entire life from public schools, and I'm honored for that, because it changed my life. Being able to come from a new country and having to learn English at the age of 14 when I didn't know a word of it, and now being here, standing to you as a state representative representing my district, it gives me a lot of joy, pleasure, and certainly want to be able to do that for other families as well. I also want to thank the administration for their work. The school committee chair, Superintendent Lights, you guys are here every day doing everything you can. You devote your life for education, public service as well, when we think about that. But I just want to say thank you for everyone. What a great turnout. Certainly shows, as was mentioned by James, and seen so many people here. But you have my commitment, and this is my second school that we're opening. We had the first one since I was elected, since 2020, June of 2020. My first one was in Harvard, and now the second one here in Acton. So I'm so proud to see that happening. Again, thank you and congratulations, and a good shout out to every resident here of Acton for getting this done in Boxborough. So thank you.
Now I'd like to welcome Kira Cook, who is the chair of the Acton-Boxborough Regional School Committee, to say a few words. Good morning, Kira.
It's a funky title, y'all. Good morning. Honored guests, incredible students. Acton-Boxborough community, it is my honor to speak on behalf of the Acton-Boxborough School Committee this beautiful morning to celebrate the full and exciting opening of this gorgeous new building. A school is the ultimate show of optimism. When a community builds one, it invests in the course of its future. Building a school is a promise by a community to actively reflect on what it is and what it can be, to thoughtfully grow and change with time, and to prepare its youngest members for the challenges and opportunities to come. In other words, what we celebrate today is not just an accomplishment, but also the manifestation of a promise that Acton and Boxborough continue to keep. That our children will receive the best education we can offer them, that will educate the future leaders of our communities, and that we will do what it takes to leave our communities stronger than how we found them. There are many hearts, minds, and hands to thank for this beautiful building. There are members of Acton and Boxborough who have been working to make today possible for almost a decade. There were countless hours given so that this building could be built on time and on budget for the benefit of our students. To every good person who touched this project in any way, we owe you our deepest thanks. Whenever we step into this building, I hope we'll each make an optimistic promise to encourage our youngest students to grow into their best selves and reach for their most audacious dreams. Let's commit to making this space and its surrounding community one where every child feels fully welcomed, seen, and known. As the school settles into this special good earth, and the shine of it wears off with time, let it age with new traditions started and old traditions held with new consideration. Let every child who passes through these doors come to know in their hearts and in their souls the loving optimism our community's channeled to create this building. If they know it, and they feel it, and they harbor it deep within, perhaps they'll pass it on with their own good works in time. And then we'll see this cycle continue. Greatness now, manifesting for an even better future. Congratulations to all those involved with this wonderful accomplishment, to the communities of Acton and Boxborough, and most of all, to every student so lucky as to call this building their home school. To you, much is given. We look forward to seeing just what you do with it.
Thank you, Kira. We'd now actually like to welcome up some of our students, and we'd like to do the official ribbon cutting before I give a few closing remarks and some thank yous, and then we turn you over to the building to get to see the great work for this community. So is Julie LaLumiere here? There's Julie. All right, so what we'd like to do is actually have some of our Douglas and Gates students come up here. We're going to have you do the official ribbon cutting.
Okay.
All right. Can we get let's count it off for them. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more round of applause for the students, please. I want to actually start off, and I just want to note, this is a school building, but I actually think this is a great symbol and embodiment of the union that took place now only really a few years ago between Acton and Boxborough becoming a fully regional district, because we could not have done this without the support of both communities. And I actually just want to say a couple words about Mary Brolin, because really, Mary has been a longtime school committee member, volunteer in this district, and she's a Boxborough resident. And she was the chair of this school building committee. And so, to think that, 10 years ago, a resident of Boxborough would lead the development of a building that's going to house 3 separate schools in the town of Acton was something that we probably would not have thought of. And it's just so symbolic of the work that's taken place. And so thank you so much, Mary, for all you've done, because you've given an incredible amount to this community. I also want to recognize, we have 3 schools now in this building. We have the Douglas Elementary School, we have the Gates Elementary School, and we have the Carol Hebner Early Childhood Program that now has its first ever home and is bringing together both the communities of Acton and Boxborough for the first time ever in one preschool program. And we're so thrilled to be able to have Carol Hebner here, who was the first principal of that program and developed it. So thank you, Carol, to both you and your family for joining us, and I hope just all of the work that you were able to do getting this program started, you can see come to fruition in this new building. I want to thank, a couple people from our central office as well. I want to thank Marie Altieri. If you go around, and most people don't do this, but if you look at the plaques on all of the buildings in this community, you're going to see one consistent name come up over and over and over again, and that is of our Deputy Superintendent, Marie Altieri. She's served this community in so many roles, from parent volunteer to school committee member to chair of the school committee to now Deputy Superintendent of Schools, and the amount of time and energy she's put into all of these schools and buildings and this community are just astounding. So thank you, Marie, for all that you do. We are here in what is now, if not one of the most, if not the most sustainable building in the state or Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And that is really notable. And that would not have happened if it weren't for a lot of the visioning, not only of members of this community, but also our former Director of Operations, J.D. Head, as well as our Energy Manager, Kate Crosby. So I just want to give a round of applause to them for all that they put into this. And, this is a 7-year project, and that took an awful lot of work on the part of many, many people, students, staff, community members. But I've been a principal of a building that's built a school, and much of the work falls to the principals throughout the visioning process, the construction process, managing the site, moving into the building, making sure staff have everything they need, and then finally welcoming students and families. So I just want to thank some of our principals over that time. Joe Gibowitz from the Carol Hebner Early Childhood Program. I want to thank Lynn Newman and now Allison Warren from the Gates Elementary Schools. And I want to thank Chris Whitbeck and now Lucia Sullivan from the C.T. Douglas Elementary School. I want to highlight another great decision other than the sustainability features of this building. This was a great economic investment for this community as well. Building a new school is expensive. And when we start talking in the hundreds of millions of dollars, that, for most of us in this world is a number that we can't quite fathom. Our Director of Finance, Dave Vertolino, actually just reached out to our bonding advisor recently because we put together a team in the district that included, Dave's staff as well as members of our finance committees to come together and think how we could best finance this project. And one of the key decisions early on was actually to bond the permanent bonds of the building at the beginning of a project. And that's not usually the way it's done. Normally you're taking out the bonds either now or even a year from now. And for those of you that don't know what the municipal bond is, that's like the loan for this building that we have to pay off over 30 years. That decision to bond the project at the beginning of this process got us a 2% interest rate over 30 years. If, and this is where it's mind-blowing, if we were to go out now to market, that interest rate would be over 4%, and the difference in the dollars to the communities of Acton and Boxborough and all of you who are citizens is a $33 million difference between the rate that we have locked in and what we would have paid had we not made that decision early in the project. So thank you to all of the people involved in that decision, because it was huge. I have to thank, all of our school committee members, past and present, because this was a 7-year process. I also want to thank the building community. This was a 7-year process. I also have to thank John Mangiaretti and all of the boards and different departments in the town of Acton that were responsible for this. There's a lot of inspections and approvals that take place in this process, and that took a huge amount of that staff time. So thank you so much to John, and thank you to all of the people in Acton who worked on this project. I also want to thank someone who has worked for just about 7 years behind the scenes on this, who doesn't get a lot of recognition, and that's Karen Call, who has been the administrative assistant working for the building committee throughout this entire process. So thank you so much, Karen, for all that you've done. I also want to thank my admin assistant, Julie Lalumiere. She's new to us this year, but everything you see planned is Julie's doing. So thank you so much, Julie, for all of the hours that you've put in. I want to thank the students who are here with us today, not only from Douglas and Gates Elementary Schools, but also our high school student volunteers who are going to be giving the tours that we're going to release you shortly to. So thank you so much for being here and for giving your time. And as you're taking tours, we also have coffee available out in the front circle of the building, as well as some ice cream. We have apples, some waters, things like that. So I also want to make sure I thank our West Acton businesses who have been instrumental in supporting today's event. We have Acton Coffee House here. With coffee out front. We also have Littletown Coffee, which also has ties to Acton. They'll be providing coffee as well. We have West Acton Creamery is here with ice cream. We also brought in Cookie Monster, so you can get some ice cream sandwiches from them as well. Carlson Orchards brought over some apples for us for today. And all of the decorations and flowers and mums and things that you see were from Idlewild. So thank you to all of the West Acton businesses who contributed to this. We very much appreciate all of your support as well. And I'm sure I forgot people, so if I didn't mention you, I am so sorry that I didn't get to mention you. Otherwise, we'd be here all day if I actually got to thank every person who went into this. But really, for all of the people, past, present, and future, who have either worked on this project or will continue to occupy the building, on behalf of all of us who are staff in the schools, thank you. And to our community, thank you. We are so grateful for this, and I hope as you walk through this, you understand the beauty of this. I want to also finally thank our 3 contractors as well. You heard from Mary early. Arrow Street had us hooked the minute they talked about the beautiful grounds that we have around and the ability to take advantage of the wetlands as part of the design of this building, and it has certainly come to fruition. You're going to see that throughout the school as we will walk through. Skanska has been a fantastic advisor for us throughout this and all of the decisions that we have to make. And I can't say enough about Consigli. It is incredibly hard to build anything during this pandemic. And at every step of the way, Consigli has consistently exceeded all of our expectations. They adjusted plans. They made modifications to things. They kept things that were back ordered on time, delivered. And, we still, throughout a pandemic, throughout inflation and everything else, we're opening this building on time and under budget for this community. So thank you to all of our business partners in this. So without further ado, as I said, I told you at the beginning, I'd be brief and that would be a surprise for people. I had my time. Without further ado, I want to turn you over. I hope you enjoy the tours. Our students are leading these tours today. We will also have some staff around the buildings if you have additional questions. And again, please visit the front circle where the bus loop is and take advantage of some either coffee or ice cream or different treats and apples and things like that. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great morning.